Hey everybody, it's Peter from the Kia Hyundai channel. Welcome to our live video series. I'm just returning from vacation, so we'll see if I can still remember how to do this. This is the 2022 Kia Carnival, but it's the LX model, and you guys have been asking to see the LX model, and frankly, so have I. But as you know, Carnivals have been selling like crazy. They're hard to get, and I finally have an LX model. And I think for a lot of you, it may be the right vehicle. Now, there may be reasons you want the higher trims, and of course, we've got lots of video on the higher trims, and we'll continue to make more. But again, this is the very first look we have done at the Kia Carnival LX. So the base model, we're not supposed to say base models here at the store, but of course, that's what I call them here in real life. So, 2022 Kia Carnival LX. We're gonna go in just one second. Here's how things work here. We do a live video when I'm not on vacation, which I just returned from, and I'm done for the year, I think. We do a live video every single weekday at 2 o'clock Eastern time. And when we do those live videos, we allow our live audience to join for the first 3 minutes. So if you're not watching live with us, skip ahead to that 3-minute mark if you want. And if you do, you're gonna skip some news and notes, but skip ahead there and you will see the content that you came for. All right, flipping down here, I'm gonna show you how to join us live if you wanna stick around, and I've got lots of news and notes because when you're off for a week, lots of things go on. So if you're on our YouTube channel, you look at there, that's what it looks like. You hit the refresh page exactly at 2 o'clock and you will see, there's our live video. We're gonna click into that. You're gonna have to watch an ad. When you do that, I'm just gonna quickly say, let me run a quick ad for ourselves. There are 3 dealers that support our channel: Brantford Kia, Brantford Hyundai, and Owen Sound Hyundai. If you are in Ontario, we can be your local dealer. We can deliver anywhere. If you want to know more about that, if you're interested in buying a car, reach out to me. There'll be a link in the description at the end of this video, and that's how you can connect with us. I'm speaking quickly because I'm trying to get to some news. Somebody asked about the Sorento PHEV. We'll talk about that later. Kia Forte 2022 information is out. Information still says Forte. I'm going to guess that they're going to call that Forte the K3. As you've seen online, it has changed, it is new. We're gonna talk about the new features that are coming to our local market, not just the online worldwide news. So I'm gonna do that video probably tomorrow morning, or it'll be up tomorrow at some point. I'll film it, and I don't know, maybe we'll do a quick little live video as well. Sometimes you guys like those. So maybe 2 live videos tomorrow. Always live at 2, possibly live at maybe 10 tomorrow. So again, it's not officially called the K3, that's just my guess of what it's gonna be called, but we have that, so tune in tomorrow. You know what, let's just do it live. We'll do it live at, I think I can do 10 o'clock tomorrow. Yeah, we can do 10 o'clock tomorrow. Bear with me, I'm just back from vacation. Check my Instagram if you wanna see if the plans change, we'll do that. So that's new information there. What else is going on? Santa Cruz, we looked at the ultimate trim. I believe the midline trim, the preferred trim is in, could be, or the trend trim is in, could be the preferred, have to clarify that, but we will have the Santa Cruz back here tomorrow at 2 o'clock, so that's another Santa Cruz video, another brand new car. That's at 2 o'clock tomorrow, and that's going up. So we're at the 3-minute mark. Let me just recap for you. All right, those of you skipping ahead to the 3-minute mark, let me just finish the news. Tomorrow, we're gonna talk about the new Kia K3. They're still calling it the Forte, but I think it'll eventually be called the K3 when it actually launches. We finally got information on that. We'll do a video live at 10 o'clock tomorrow about that. 2 o'clock tomorrow, the Santa Cruz. We've done the ultimate trim already. We have not done the midline trim. It's either the midline or the baseline trim. Not 100% sure yet because I was on vacation. And then, of course, Friday we've got another video for you, which we'll talk about tomorrow. Lots going on this week. Do me a favor, guys. Hit that like button if you haven't hit it already. You got some regulars on that may have forgotten that's how we do things. The rest of you, I will try to earn your like in the next half hour or so. We're going to spend approximately half an hour with this video going really in depth. If that sounds like too long, take a break, hit pause, whatever, go get a coffee, a beverage, whatever you need, some snacks, that's what we'll do. We're going to go in this vehicle in detail to tell you about what it's all about, to give you the best in-depth video that you can do. And to be very honest, that's what we do here. If you want to see this video again next week, sure, we'll bring it back. So do me a favor, hit that subscribe button if this is the kind of content you want to see, and let's get diving right in. All right, first thing I'm going to show you is the key because I want to put it in my pocket, but I can't keep it there the whole time because this is the only keyed version of the Carnival. Now, I got to carefully, I can't do it. There we go. So that's what the key fob will look like in your pocket. It's got the nice new logo on there, looks really sharp. No side door buttons on this key. You used to have side door buttons on some of the other keys on here. That's because they are not powered doors. Again, we're dealing with a base model, so they have to make some decisions about what content's going to go in it, what content's not. I don't think that's a bad move to take the powered doors off on the base model, but that also means no remote start on this key fob and no power doors. I think that makes sense for this model. And again, if you want to pop that key out, pop that out like that, pretty simple to do. And if I'm right-handed, I can put it away with one hand, but because I'm working with my left hand here, that's how it works. Taking a look at the outside, you will notice one fairly significant difference. You still have LED lighting out front, but it's a different kind of LED lighting. We're going to show you that later in the video. but you do have a different grille here than you had on some of the higher trim lines. This one kind of comes out and around, towards us and around, whereas the other one has a kind of concave look, and again, just a different style. So, you know, if it's not your style, you can move up. If it is your style, there you go, there's your new van. Down low, looks pretty sharp, still got some nice metallic looking accents. Of course, everything's plastic. Take a look on the outside. We're just gonna continue here for a second. A couple nice features that I like is, even on this base model, you still have this sort of metallic type trim, just sets it apart. You don't see it as much on the white colors, but some of the darker colors you still see it on. You also have, of course, every vehicle for 2022 needs a backup camera. You have that here, but you still have the beepers down here. So those are the little sensors, that little round dot there that you see in the center just below that light. That is a sonar sensor, and it sees behind you to give you basically a beeping warning. Progressively beeps quicker as you approach something. So when you're not paying attention to your backup camera because you've got kids in the car and that little tricycle's in the corner of your vehicle, you're not going to drive over it or damage your bumper because the car's going to start beeping. You're going to double check the camera, double check your mirrors, and you're going to say, oh yeah, I saw that. So kind of a nice feature to have there, but there's a lot more features here, including this vehicle is capable of steering itself. That's pretty cool for a base model. So we're gonna talk about all that and more, and we'll jump in just 1 second here. I just wanna show you the pricing of where we're sitting today. So of course, LX model is that entry-level model. If I show you right here, you can see LX there with the grille. There's the same grille we have. Same grille on the LX Plus. Once you move to the EX, you start changing that grille. So that's where things start changing a little bit there. And of course, you can move up through the EX to the EX Plus and the SX. The SX, of course, has those lazy boy style seats. Very top of the line, you're gonna be at $48,595. How much of that is options? Well, let's go down to the bottom end. We'll see $34,795 is where we're at. So the next step up is a significant jump in features: wireless phone charging, smart key push button, power sliding doors, power tailgate, lots of stuff. You still have rear climate, but it's not automatic climate control, and you have heated seats and heated steering wheel. Heated seats is the one thing I think they could have included in here that they didn't. I'm not gonna fault them for it because the cloth seats are pretty good for not getting too cold, unlike leather seats as you move up in the lineup a little bit. But there is a pretty significant price jump from base model to upper model. So you're below 35 over here, you're over 38 over there. And this below 35 means that you have an extra, what, 3,000-ish bucks? That's quick math. Plus to go on vacation or do something fun. So let's take a look, dive in right now. And you got a couple of nice things. You got body color mirror caps, body color door handles. You've got alloy wheels. Some of those things aren't included in other people's base model minivans. This does not look like a base model minivan in any way. And it really isn't a base model minivan compared to what used to be out there. Now, a couple things I want to say quickly. A lot of plastic is still in this car. I have not stripped this car of the shipping plastic, and that means that certain pieces are going to look chintzy and cheap. And that's because I only took off some of it where I knew I was going to focus a lot of attention, but you're going to see a lot of areas where the plastic doesn't look good. It probably isn't that the plastic doesn't look good. It's probably, for instance, right here, that is just another shipping plastic piece. It's probably just that I have some shipping plastic on, so forgive me for that. All across here is actually black, but of course I obviously neglected to take off that white plastic protective strip, and I do apologize for that. Again, just so that you guys are aware, I just returned from vacation today. Those are usually busy mornings when I come back, so I do apologize for not prepping this car the same way I would like to have done it, but that's what's going on. All right, that key in my pocket. There's only one complaint I have about the base model in this car. I think if you got in this car, you would say, oh, this is a really nice van. Except for one thing. I think they did one thing wrong, and I'll just point it out right here. Obviously, this car was designed for push-button start, and they never actually designed a dash to not have it. So while that's where your push-button start would be, you have a traditional key slot right over here in the steering column, and I just feel like it would have been nice if, oops, if I can get this key in here. I'm doing this with the wrong hand. There we go. It would have been nice if they just sort of had a trim piece there, and I get why they don't. You guys all get as well. So we'll have to do something there, put a nice little sticker there for the kids, smiley face, I don't know, something like that. But it's just one area where you can tell that this is the lower level trim. Everything else, pretty good. Now, of course, when you see our SX line or top of the line or EX Plus, you're going to have a full 12.3-inch digital display here, a full 12.3-inch digital display here. It looks pretty cool, but you actually lose functionality on that compared to this car here, because this car here has an 8-inch screen, and all of our 8-inch screens right now come with wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, whereas the 12.3-inch screen, the larger, wider screen here, does not come with wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. So that is kind of a weird thing that's going on in the Kia Hyundai world, and I'm trying to dig into why the lower trim levels have a better feature than the higher trim levels. Can't really get a great response right now. Some people say it's software. We'll find out if that's changing. But right now, wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, again, you have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay anyways, but wireless in this car, which means you get in, your phone's in your pocket, you're busy with your kids, you've got stuff going on, and all of a sudden you got to figure out, oh, how do I get to Jenny's house for that birthday party? Or, you know, do we still do birthday parties? I'm not sure with COVID and all that. But anyways, if that's going on, you can call up your navigation through Google Maps, Apple Maps, whatever you want, and you can call it up through here wirelessly. That's a big deal when you haven't planned for things and all of a sudden you want to pull it up, or maybe you're getting text messages and you just want to deal with them all. You can go into Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. And what I suggest if you do decide to do that is to use this touch button right here. You can see these are not real touch buttons here, but if I hit that custom button right there, it hasn't been set up, and you can set it up to phone projection. What that does is you can just tap that button there, and when your phone's in the car with you, that will launch your Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. Now you can deal with your text messages, you can deal with your navigation, whatever you want to deal with nicely here in this color display. And I should point out this color display is really clear. Let's take a look back here. There's our backup camera. Really clear, really wide angle, and if I turn the wheel, which I'll do more later, you can see the blue line stays where, if you were backing into a spot, the blue line stays where the parking lines would be, and you can line that up perfectly with the side parking lines, whereas the yellow and red turn to roughly where your vehicle is going. So you do have those guidelines that kind of change while still keeping the other one lined up. And when you're backing into a spot, that makes a ton of sense. All right, somebody's commenting a whole bunch of things, and I'm not sure what you're saying there. So if you're spamming me, not a good thing to do. If you're not spamming me, do what you're doing. All right, click that out there. And greetings from the Netherlands. Hey, that's cool. All right, my mom was born in the Netherlands. I should point that out. All right, Dutchies. Why don't we show you a couple other features in here? A couple nice things that are on this car is the quiet mode. If you are parents traveling on a long road trip with kids, and I just finished doing that, quiet mode is pretty cool. What that does is it basically mutes the rear speakers, and it keeps the front speakers to volume number 7. Now you can turn that up as you want, but a benefit to that is if you have kids in the back that want to sleep, they can sleep. If you have kids in the back that are listening to their earbuds and they don't want to listen to your music, you can still listen to your music and not interfere with them. So quiet mode is a newer feature on here, kind of a nice feature in a larger vehicle like this. Rear climate controls, you can see them. We'll show you them a little bit later. And of course, just the basic setups and everything else here. Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. So nice little features in there, but the big thing, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. Also, I believe it is an HD radio. Let's just check. Oh, it's nice and loud. It's actually very clear. HD radio as well. I should point out that the base level stereo in the new K5, the new Sorento, and the new Carnival, all three of those base level stereos, to my ears, are vastly improved. So although only the top trims have the Bose audio, or Harman Kardon in some cases, this audio system is very good for this car. All right, let's go over to here. And we're going to show you, I don't know if you've ever seen my videos in the past, but when I leave it on this screen, that hints at a feature that maybe you don't expect. It's lane keeping assist. Lane keeping assist can see the lane markers in front of you and keep the car sort of centered in it, or keep it sort of from drifting outside of it. It's a good feature, and it's kind of a surprise to see it on this, but what's even more of a surprise is you also have lane follow assist, which is essentially the same thing, but far more precise. It can follow things, even if it loses lane markers, it can still sometimes stay in the lane marker. It can use vehicles in front, it can use all kinds of things. And what you'll notice is the car physically steers itself. Now that sounds really freaky to people who have never heard that before, but once I tell people, try it for a week, see how it works, almost everybody, in fact, everybody I've ever told that to, has come back to me and said, absolutely, that was a great feature. I'm glad you told me about it. I'm glad you told me to leave it on, because you do get used to how it works. And on a long road trip especially, but even in town, the ability to have the car stay centered in the lane as you just glance over here, or as you're glancing over to the traffic over there, or the school bus over there. As you're glancing around the road, the car is going to stay centered in the lane by steering itself. It's easy to steer past. It sounds complicated. A lot of competitors are coming out with a similar feature, not usually on their base trims, but Kias and Hyundais are known to have one of the best, if not the best, a version of this software and this system. So it works very well. And again, your minivan steers itself. And it does that through a camera facing forward out here. It can see the lane markers, it can see things in front. That camera also has forward collision avoidance. And what that means is this car is capable of stopping without, or stopping on its own if you're not paying attention. Now, again, test this like you test your airbags. In other words, don't test it. But having a vehicle that's capable of stopping and avoiding collisions, especially with a vehicle in front, can also save you things on things like insurance. And while we're talking about the front windshield, I'm gonna see if I can get my camera to focus weirdly on my hand. And this is a terrible camera work, but just bear with me. If I can get to focus on my hand, to the right of my hand, you will see little squiggly lines on the gray, I don't know, I got that sold sign I should probably move there. Let's see if we can do this one more time. There we go. Squiggly lines to the right of your camera on the white wall. If you look at those are all throughout the windshield. They're almost impossible to see, and they are very impossible to film. Those little squiggly lines are one of the best features ever in this van. This is a big windshield on this van. You never have to scrape your windshield in this car. If you live in Canada and you have snow and ice in the windshield, that little feature right there has a little button right down here. And we've seen this button before where it used to defrost parts of the windshield, like where your wipers are. Well, now the entire windshield has those squiggly lines up and across the whole thing. And this huge, massive panel of glass can take all the snow and ice off the windshield. It's a huge feature, and it's something I highly recommend, which of course, even in this base model, you get. So we've kind of covered the basics here. Manual climate controls, including a rear air conditioner. You want rear heat back there? That's fine. Let's just turn the heat to the heater side, right? Or you can go to the air conditioning side. Really simple, easy to use. They kind of are reusing part spin things from the Kia Hyundai lineup. This is a very similar control to some of our Tucsons. You can see these lighting kind of things. They use these in heated and ventilated seats and things like the Stinger. So very similar pieces that they brought all throughout the car. You can turn it on or off. You can also, and you can fan speed, same thing. You can crank the fan speed up back there. You can also allow your rear passengers to control it. If you don't want them to control it, you're going to lock them out. But if you do allow them to control it, they have control right over here with a similar display with the blue and orange lights. And they can control where they're getting their air from the top, the bottom. They control the heat, they control the fan speed, or they can turn the whole system off right there. So kind of a cool feature that you may not expect in a base level minivan. Let's just quick take a look down here, and we're going to take your questions in just a second here. We've only got about 19 likes so far. I think we can hit 50 this video. We're going to have 300, 400 people on throughout this video. So do me a favor, while we're live, let's see if we can hit 50 likes. And I'll just quickly show you the dash down here. 8-speed automatic transmission. You can tow 3,500 pounds, which means you can tow a decent camping trailer that'll take your family. You can choose your own gears, which is probably something you're never going to do unless you are towing a trailer, and then that's kind of nice to have. You have an electronic parking brake down here, so you can turn that on and off. You also have drive modes, and I'm going to be honest, I haven't checked the drive modes on this car, so let's just see together for the very first time. Yes, that's what I thought. Normal, Eco, Sport, and Smart, which means you have all 4 drive modes. What I would recommend for most people is drive in the Smart mode, test drive in the Smart mode. That is the mode that's going to adapt to your driving the most. Eco mode, if you're driving efficiently anyways, gets great efficiency, but the Smart mode, sometimes the Eco mode can resist those downshifts when you get into the throttle. The Smart mode senses what you're doing. It puts you in Eco mode when you're driving efficiently, but if you need to get in the throttle to pass somebody or just even to zip around town better, that Smart mode senses what you're doing and moves it up. And of course that comfort, is it normal or comfort? What did I say here? Normal. So that normal mode also can give you a little more pep. The Sport mode keeps it in the revs. Sometimes that can be useful on towing a trailer. You know, when you're going up the long hills towing a trailer, you need a little more power, keep it in the thing. So that towing of the trailer, that Sport mode can also work as sort of a bit of a tow mode type function. Somebody just asked me a question. I'll get to that in just one second. We're going to go take questions in a second. Let's just quickly show you a place to put your phone down here with 3 USBs, so you can charge all the USB phones you want as needed. We're going to show you a lot more USBs as we move through. There's that shipping plastic I peeled off. Place for a second phone up here, cup holders, and a place for another phone back here if you want. Those parking sensors have a little button there, and the parking camera, backup camera, you can turn on as well. All right, we're gonna go take your questions. Where are we going next? Rear seats, middle row seats, and third row seats. There's a lot to show you there in this van. We're gonna show you that. Go ahead, ask your questions. I'm gonna jump over and grab them. It does take me a second to see them, so ask them now, or I might miss them. And of course, if I do miss them, we'll come right back to them. All right, jumping out here. Somebody asked me this morning, how do you turn on your heated mirrors on a Kia? And you turn on your rear defroster. So there's a little tip for you if you've never heard that, but sometimes on Hondas, I think they have a separate button, not so much on the Kia, which makes more sense. All right, I'm gonna let you take a look at the van instead of me because let's be honest, one of these things is better looking than the other. And you're looking at it. All right, here we go. Let's see, questions. Greetings from the Netherlands, that was cool. What's the difference between Bose and Harman Kardon stereo system? Really, the Bose system and Harman Kardon are just 2 different brands, both of which have a higher end stereo system. They've moved to Bose lately. To be honest, it's probably just a contract they signed with Bose. Some people are saying that when the Bose does an audio system, they get involved in the design process earlier. They want speaker placements in certain ways, but all of our speakers are in the same spot. They're all in the doors. I mean, we kind of figured out where to place speakers in most of these cars. So some people say Bose is better that way. But either way, a Harman Kardon or a Bose system will be a top-line system in our vehicles right now. So he says, this is like an airplane. It totally is. How often are different models arriving to the dealership? If I could answer that question, I would be a rich person. As you know, the entire automotive industry is facing real inventory concerns right now. The Carnival is part of that. If you want one, you have to kind of, and generally you have to probably order it. That's just the way it's working in a lot of businesses. GM, Ford, Chrysler, it's all the same stuff. We're getting them in spurts. There's no consistency right now. So normally it would be pretty easy to say when they're coming. Right now, sometimes we had a whole bunch of Souls the other day. I had a whole bunch of Carnivals while I was on vacation. So yeah, we don't know. How do we know you aren't secretly rich? I am secretly rich. There we go. Now you know. Hey, I'm all up front here. Compared to most of the world, I'm a very rich person, just like probably most of you writing right now. All right. Hope you had a great vacation. Can't say that I'm upset that you're back though. Well, I'm glad I'm back and you're happy that I'm back. Is there any way to get a lumbar seat on the passenger side? Oh, you stumped me. I don't know which trim might have that or if the higher trims do. So that's a good question. I'm not sure. Somebody asked the price. The price we've shown earlier, but we'll show you that again. Pricing on this one is MSRP $34,795, which is the entry level now. So we've gone up a little bit in entry level pricing from the base Sedona in the past. Now it's a Carnival, but a lot of that has to do with that safety tech, and it's totally worth it. Again, the windshield that defrosts itself, the LED lighting, the ability to steer itself, the ability to have autonomous braking with the stopping, really clear backup camera, more space. You're getting a lot more in this van than what you used to get in a base level car. All right, we're gonna come back to your questions in a second. We're still searching for about 50 likes. So there's like 43 of you on right now, and like half of you are like, I am not giving this guy a like. So do me a favor, I give you half an hour a day. Give me that one split second to hit that like button. Let's see if we can keep going here. Pretty sure the LX Plus has 8-way power seats. Yes, the LX Plus has 8-way power seats. I'm just not sure if it has the lumbar support on that seat. At this point, you stumped me. We'll have to check the specs together. I'm not sure if I'll do that in this video or if we'll have to just check it off camera a little bit later. All right, rear seats. A lot going on here. First of all, these are removable. I know what you're thinking. You used to have that Caravan, and it used to fold the seats into the floor. So here's two things that go on with those seats. Yes, your kids may never complain about it, but that's because kids never used to complain about sitting in the horse and wagon on the wooden seats. The reality is, those seats are just like wooden seats. They're out of date. They're not comfortable. They're too small. They're too low to the floor. In the Caravan, that's the one that folds in the seats. I can remove these seats in less time than you can fold your Caravan seats into the floor. That's why these are better. The Caravan seats as well, not very well padded, and they are undersized to be able to fit in the floor. Do you want them to fold in the floor? Okay, we don't do that. I have a bad back and have no issues taking these seats out. They're very lightweight. If you can lift a toddler, you can lift these seats. If you, most of the time, take people in your van, this is what you need because they're better. Let me show you as I jump in here. One little quick thing that's kind of cool, little grab handle here. I can grab that as I jump in. As I come in over here, take a look at me here. I've got lots of headroom. I've also got, and it's a little harder to see, my leg is flat on the seat. Now, you can't see it because this is there. We'll demonstrate that later. In a Caravan, my legs aren't going to be flat on the seat. The other thing you're not going to have is the immense amount of legroom here. So let's be really honest. Let's talk about that. There are other minivans out there. Some of them have better fuel efficiency. Toyota has a hybrid. You should check out that if you really, really value mileage. However, if you're looking for a value proposition, you're never going to save enough fuel in that hybrid to match the savings of this vehicle in purchasing costs. So there is that as well. If you're an environmentalist and fuel efficiency is the only way to go, the Sienna's can be better. However, I'm guessing like most minivan buyers, you want space, you want a happy family, you want a good value, all those things. This is the largest minivan in its class, and that's gonna matter, but it's not really any bigger to drive. It's easy to park. And then you have some cool features like this seat. Very comfortable. Of course, you can recline it. I can move it forward. I believe I did show you knee space, but let's just show you that knee space again. I'm 6 feet sitting behind a 6-footer, and I'm telling you, if I was 7 feet tall, only in the knees, that'd be an extra foot right there. So there's tons of space here that I can show you. And of course, headroom is plenty as well. So no matter who's sitting behind a 6-foot driver, you're gonna have no issues. Now let's flip the camera around again and look at another cool feature. You have USB ports in the back of the seat, a 12-volt port back down here, and a USB port right there. And you have these double pockets on driver and passenger side. So one pocket there, and then a separate pocket here. If you have technology, you drop your technology there, and you drop your power cord to there. And of course, you've got the separate space for books or something else. What that means is your devices in every seat are going to be full of battery juice, battery life. Now, this seat can be used as a place to draw, place to read, place to sit, place to put some food. You can drop 2 phones in here, one there, and the USB, because let's face it, kids have phones now. And if I can not drop my camera, I'll show you this popping up for a second. I am right-handed, and this is awkward because I'm trying not to hit my camera. You can tilt this seat back further than it is, of course. You can tilt it a number of different directions. That doesn't look like a full-size seat, but the reality is this is a full-size seat, and that is still plenty large enough to fit an adult. A lot of these Toyota seats, they used to fold, like make them tiny and then sit them in the back of the van. You don't have that case here. An adult can sit in this seat comfortably, but if you have a car seat here, and maybe that front passenger is going to take care of the baby in the rear-facing seat, you can put this seat a long ways forward, and I think it actually can go a hair further. Yeah, it can certainly go further than it is forward, and that allows that front seat passenger to take care of a baby. And yeah, no rump roasters, but a heated windshield, exactly. All right, so the other thing I'm doing now is I'm moving this seat all the way back. If you have 3 kids on a long road trip, these 2 seats can stay in place. You could take that middle seat out if you wanted, but now instead of throwing that kid in the back seat, you can throw that seat almost into like a near 3rd row type position. So all the way forward, all the way back, 1, 2, 3, and everybody's got their own space, their own kind of place to live. And if you wanted to use that table position we just showed you for the rear seats, you could slide this a little bit forward from where it is and use that, flip it into a table, and the rear seats will see it as well. So let's just put this forward again for 1 second. We'll leave it just sort of where it is. Now keep in mind, this seat is in its furthest back position. Let's go see how much space we have in the 3rd row seats. Oops, down here, pop the button. It is a manually opening tailgate. So remember that seat? That seat can be removed. This seat can be removed. Those seats can be removed. If you do that, you've got over 8 feet of space. 4x8 sheet of plywood in there, no problem. If you leave them in, you can put that as a table. You can move that table back, but you still have tons of space. And again, when that's all the way back, you could just load around it, lots of space. Over in the 3rd row seats, you still have cup holders there, a little phone holder in the front there, and you have, oh, there's no USB port. Excuse me, I was going to say USB port. So no USB ports in the 3rd row seats. You would have that on the higher trim level, but you do have in the front. You do also have a 12-volt port back here, so you can still power your children's devices back in the 3rd row seats. And these seats are massive. Now, I use 2 things to look at a trunk space. I use my teddy bear, and I tell you about common items like 4x8 sheets of plywood. When I throw a teddy bear in here, if I throw him over there, I could fit probably 3, 4 teddy bears back here. So we're going to take Teddy out here because, of course, when you have the rear seats folded like this, you have lots of floor there. Never been a soccer mom vehicle kind of gal, but this one is actually very intelligent design. I guess, yeah. All right, so let's flip these seats forward. I don't know if you saw what I did there, but I lifted that up easily with one hand. I slammed it a little hard, but the point is you can do that even if you're not a strong person. I am not a strong person, and I work with a camera. I don't work with, hammers and everything. So I need 2 hands. Just going to hold this for a second. I want to just put this on the Velcro because I want to be really efficient there. So we're going to tip that back there. This is tilted a long ways back, just the way I set it up. Let's set the second one up here. Let's not tilt it quite as far. We'll do it right there or so. And we'll do that. So what you have is a real variety, and you can, I think, go further again with this one, of the tilting of those seats. But what you have here is a pretty amazing amount of space down here. So when I throw Teddy Bear into the average sedan, the average hatchback, his belly is usually touching the top panel, that privacy cover that closes on a sedan. If you look down here, he's basically buried in the trunk with just his nose and his belly out. You've got an entire small car's worth of trunk below the floor before you start coming up and up and up. If you want all 8 seats available to you on a road trip, you've got the trunk space to do that. Now, somebody said you should get in the back. I'm 10 likes away from climbing in the back, so I'll do it, but I'm hoping to get 10 likes by climbing in the back. So let's do that real quick, and then we'll just go back to your questions. Somebody also asked, do these windows go down? Let me point that out. Do these windows go down, and do they go down all the way? We're going to show you that in a second as well. Somebody said I should set up the camera and show you how easy it is to get inside. This was in a comment I dealt with earlier today, so I'm going to jump in and jump out to show you how easy it is to get inside on this van. So you're going to look at the rear end of me, which is not the best view, but this is the camera work I've got to work with. So let's just try that for a second. Very simple. Pull this lever here like that. Jump in like that. Easy to sit. So you can see, very simple. Very simple to get in and out here with that seat. You just pull that lever forward, you slide it forward, and you've got space. Now remember, this seat over here, the middle row seat behind the driver, what I did is I put that seat all the way back. Again, I have immense amounts of legroom there to move it forward. I can move it forward 6 or 8 inches and still have all the legroom I need and more. But I left it all the way back to prove to you that you can go a 6-footer, a 7-footer, and then again, another 6-footer back here. So I'm reclined out here, got that kind of up there, chilling out. I've got lots of headroom if I sit this properly upright, easily fitting there. And you can see my knees here. I've got knee room back here. We're gonna look at the Santa Cruz tomorrow. 2nd row seats in that, they've got as much knee room as the 1st row seats or 3rd row seats here. The only complaint for comfort with a 6-footer is my legs are a little bit raised off the seat here, but not by much. And when I recline like this, I can kind of casually place my legs to the side if I haven't got a center row passenger and I'm flushed there. So 3rd row seat comfort, really good. If you're looking at an SUV or you're looking at a minivan, there's a reason that minivans are better. They've just got more space, more comfort. So I only got 3 legs to climb in the back seat. I'm a little disappointed in you guys today. Thought I could get a couple extra legs for doing that. All right, we're gonna go back, take your questions. We're gonna wrap this video up. And if there's a question you have about this vehicle and you're not live with us, just ask me in the comments below, because I can do another video, or I'll just answer your questions. Well, I always answer your questions anyways in the comment section. So let's see if we can get 6 more likes while I'm answering questions here, and we'll get to our 50 like goal. And let's just see. This has enough room for my family. Yeah, it does. 6 kids, exactly. What colors does it come with? That's a good question. Let's show you that again. Where we got? Colors that come in. We'll get to the colors just 1 second. This trim level doesn't have it, but not sure. Oh, what is this? Is big enough to store my child's luggage in the area? Yep. Please tell me this has a power liftgate. Yeah, so this one does not have a power liftgate, but the very next trim line up does. When you get the power liftgate, you can hold your key fob in your hand, pocket, purse, whatever you want, stand behind the car, and you can hit a setting in here. So when you're just standing behind the car, you don't have to wave your foot underneath, you just stand there. The car senses that key is in proximity. It'll beep 5 times in 3 seconds, and the door can open automatically. So it's a pretty cool feature. We've done a bunch of videos on that. If you want, we'll show you that. Colors, let's just quickly look at colors in the base model here. So colors overall, you know what, I won't show you colors in the base model, we'll just go overall. Overall colors are Storm Blue, which is what this one is. Then you go White, which is what I have today. Then you go Thunder Gray, Mineral Blue, which isn't quite that same blue, Ghost Gray, which is a super cool color, Flare Red, Ultra Silver, and Aurora Black. So those are the colors. Not every one of them is going to be available on this base model. I believe white, black, silver, those are the 3 I've seen it in. I'll have to check too. Ghost Gray is super cool. Ghost Gray, we've done a Ghost Gray Stinger. If you see a gray Stinger in our videos, that's Ghost Gray. Camera doesn't do Ghost Gray justice. It's pretty cool in person. It doesn't work great in these LED lights. So in that I have the LED lights in this room. Speaking of LED lights, I did promise you I'd show you the headlights in this car. For a base model, this car's gonna look pretty cool coming up behind you. Now, these lights here are flickering on camera. They don't flicker in real life. When I'm looking at them, not through the camera, they don't flicker. So those solid white lights are gonna be what's showing behind you. But check out these headlights. LED headlights are kind of awesome because they have a nice sharp cutoff. Blam, they're really blazingly bright right there. There's actually a little bit better LED headlights in the top trims. And what those top trim headlights do is give you a little bit more of a focused exact line, but this is pretty impressive right now. So the big thing with LED lights is you get that white natural light color that you have kind of in daylight. So when you see something in the headlights here, you're gonna really recognize it for what it is because your brain is used to seeing things in that color. Let's check out the lights in the back here. Come all the way back, we'll shut the trunk. And you can see the tail lights here. Don't let me, you know what? I always forget Teddy, so I'm gonna take him out of there for a second. And we're gonna look at Teddy here. there's the lights in the back. So you still have a pretty cool design in the back. Of course, we've seen a lot of the LED ones that have an actual light across here. This isn't a light, it is a mirrored trim that on the daylight will look like an LED light across the back. So kind of cool design detail there, what they do. And yeah, so there's your rear lighting, front lighting, inside and out. There's your whole design of the car. We're gonna quickly just double check your comments. I was hoping for 50 likes and you guys said, I'm not worth it today. And I hear you, I understand that, I respect that. So we'll see what we can do here. And let's just see your questions here and we'll go back. So, next week we are doing a down payment on Sorrento. Best option for interior color. We can talk about that, your best options later. Don't get black, someone says. No, black's fine. Black's a popular color. All right, I think I've got to most of your questions. If I missed it, I do apologize. I do my best to get them while I'm live. Like I said, tomorrow, we're gonna go live at 10 o'clock, talk about Kia's K3. They're still calling it a Forte in my paperwork, but I think they're gonna call it a Kia K3 when it comes out. So, hey, we just got to 50 likes. Appreciate that. We're also gonna do the Santa Cruz tomorrow at 2, so bonus live video at 10. Actual live video at 2 o'clock where we do the Santa Cruz. It'll be a mid or lower level trim on that Santa Cruz. I have to double check because again, I just got back from vacation. I haven't seen the vehicle yet. And then Friday, we got more cool stuff coming up. So lots going on this channel in the next month or two. Stay tuned, hit the subscribe button. I really appreciate all of you for watching. And if you haven't subscribed, feel free to hit that subscribe button and we have a lot more coming. Thanks everybody for watching. Have a great day.